Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 3. I'm titling this Team Golf versus Ladies Major because that's the week we have going on right now. Let's start off just real quick. What are you more excited for, watching the team golf or the first women's major of the year?
I don't want to sound like an asshole, but team golf.
Yeah, I mean, personally, with how the field is, like, it would be really cool. Like we mentioned off the podcast about Colin and Max playing together would be really cool to watch and stuff like that. But with how weak the field is compared to like last week, I think
hmm
the first major of the ladies season is going to be more interesting on that front. But the
I'm a big fan of when the format switches up,
yes,
like when the match play goes on, or obviously the Ryder Cups and the President's Cups and all that stuff. So I like seeing a little bit like a different, even though the field is kind of ass. Um, I like just seeing the different style of like and like the because it changes the strategy a little bit. It's not the same thing you watch every Sunday, you know.
yeah. With it's also different than every single week for the ladies major too this year because it's 54 holes this year.
Mm.
Yeah, it's our new title sponsor came on last year. It's at a new course, so it's a little bit different than years past. So it's kind of fresh, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but so we're gonna talk about both the Zurich and the Chevron Championship. We're gonna recap the RBC Heritage, and then obviously we have to go through our picks and kind of make up some new rules as we go along here
We
because
had an eventful week.
we had an eventful week for picks, even though again I picked someone that didn't make the cut. Um, I mean you also picked someone who didn't make the cut, but
All my people made the cut.
no, Joel Damon didn't make the cut.
He didn't make the cut.
The cut was
I could have
-2.
sworn he made the cut. Dang it!
Yeah, he missed the cut at
He
-1.
finished. At least he finished under.
Yes. And then we're gonna go through some unpopular opinions. There's probably like 7, 8. There's a number of them, and it's probably just gonna be a little bit of a shorter episode tonight because we both gotta work in the morning. So
Yeah, it
we
is
gotta be
nine
responsible
47
adults.
right now, which just doesn't sound late. But when you got to be up at 5 in the morning,
Yeah. So our picks for last week.
I had Patrick Cantlay, Jordan Spieth, and Joel Donovan because his name popped out at me, and for a second I was like, "This must be the universe must have just been on my side that day when he was one shot back after when at the end of the first round. I was like, "This is nuts," and then he collapsed. But that's besides the point.
Yes, I had Akshay Bhatia, Matthew Fitzpatrick, and Shane Lowry. Akshay missed the cut at +4. Joel Damon missed the cut at -1. Shane Lowry made the cut but finished +1. Patrick Hantley with an ace
Ace,
was
my
at
guy.
-16, and Jordan Spieth was at -17, and Matthew Fitzpatrick with the W also at
Big
-17.
dog, certified dog, Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Even
The,
though he beat my boy Jordan Spieth, that you can't. I couldn't even be upset after that approach shot in the third playoff hole. He almost just holed it from the
yeah.
middle of the fairway. I couldn't. I wasn't even mad that Spieth lost because I was like, you just can't. You can't be as a golf fan. You can't be mad seeing a shot like that.
No, that's like kicking territory. Like you could walk up and accidentally kick it in the
Yeah,
hole.
you could have blown on that and it would have gone in.
Yeah. So firstly, rules, okay? We haven't decided anything on what happens if you pick someone that wins. We haven't decided on
Yeah.
anything if there's someone in a playoff because technically they shot the same as the winner. So in
hmm
this case, I have the winner, but they shot the same as in second. So there's no
I'd say like in a playoff, They get another stroke taken off.
Another stroke taken off for a playoff. What about for a
Yeah,
win?
for a win, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know.
Uh,
Do you okay? So before we decide these points, giving out the points for winners and stuff, the for the season total through 2 weeks, you're at -39, and I'm at -9.
oh my god!
So if we choose a
I'm.
winner, if we add like another 5 strokes,
I was just
or
saying, if you choose a winner, you should get a couple more strokes taken off.
so like what are we saying? Like 5 for the winner?
I'd say five for the winner. Yeah,
Okay.
five for the winner, and then there should also be something if the player that you picked goes into a playoff because he almost won. I guess no, he didn't almost won. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. He,
Yes. But so then we do instead of doing the minus like an extra stroke under for the win, just -5 for the winner.
yeah.
So then so it would be an extra -5 to me.
hmm
And then what happens if we have someone that gets a hole in one? Is are we just
I think we just celebrate it. I don't know if it has anything to do with how like you get a hole in one and miss the cut. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with how well you played.
maybe it's something along the lines like you get first pick this week?
Oh, I'll take that. I say if you get a player that gets a hole in one first pick,
Yeah,
makes sense.
you ought or
Should I even get picked first pick anyways because I have the honors?
you technically do too. Yeah, that would be. So maybe you'll get like I don't know. You need an advantage of some sort. Maybe we turn the advantage into like match play on the golf course or something.
Yeah, well, when we like record a video or something, we'll take like the get an extra stroke or
Or you just play from like the Reds.
yeah, yeah. I'll do that. That'd be a fair. I think me playing from the Reds and you playing from like the tips would be a fair match between you and I.
I did shoot 40 yesterday.
I shot 46 and I was happy about it. So
I shot
I shot.
40 with 2 doubles, a and a birdie.
Hey, when something I shot. Oh, I shot my scorecard on me. I had I had like three doubles, four doubles, a lot of bogeys, and like three pars. And I was like,
Yeah.
not bad for after work. It was cold
Yeah.
out today. Went out after work. A little tired. So I'm not upset about it. I can probably do better, but you know, we're getting there.
Okay. So yesterday I shot 40. I went 1, 2, and 3. Missed all 3 greens up and down for par.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of impressive, especially on 3 white in Kingsville.
Mm-hmm.
I was below the hole in the rough. If anyone knows Kingsville, that green is a monster. They should just blow it up and redo it because of the slope on it is just crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's probably like at like 5% slope grade or something. It's ridiculous.
Pretty heavy.
Yeah, and then my tee shot on 4. I put it in the hazard off the tee.
Mm-hmm.
So dropped with 2 club lengths from the hazard. Hit my third kind of short. I didn't really have a good angle at the green because it was over and trees were in my way. So I was kind of like I was at like 60 yards. Went pin hunting and then I just like pushed my putt a little bit left to save the bogey. Made double. Par 5, fifth. I made par. The 6th on the par 5, I made a double. Hit a terrible tee shot. Hit a terrible second shot. Hit a all right third punch shot. Hit a terrible wedge. Hit a terrible trip, and then 2 putted.
Mm.
So a lot of terrible shots on that hole.
Yeah, not terrible.
And then I proceeded on 7 to hit the other fairway off the tee, stick it to 8 feet, and make birdie. So
That's pretty good.
sometimes terrible tee shots work out okay.
A little bit of Kepka first hole 2023 Masters action there.
A little bit, yeah.
Except he didn't make birdie.
Yeah. And then I bogeyed 8. I was in a bad position at the tee again. and then made a up and down par on 9 for my 40.
Hey, you know what? 40 is pretty solid.
Especially for this time of year. I'll
Yeah.
get everything figured out. So,
I had the luckiest nine I've ever like. So first tee shot, it's cold. I'm cold. I'm not warmed up. My body's sore. Pulled the hell out of it, and it was just going way into the woods. And I was like, "Well, that ball's gone." So I had already gotten one ready to drop. And I pulled up, and we're driving up the left side of the fairway just in case it was like it had bounced back. I was like, "There's no way." It was going miles in, and it was sitting right on the edge, right before it dropped off into the creek. And I was like, it must have hit a tree and bounced there because there's no way that it was nowhere near my line. So that was lucky break number one. Lucky break number two, I was uh, there was an uphill fairway, hit my tee shot. Well, the fairway went downhill and then scooped back up. Tee shot landed like a yard before it flattened out after coming back up. So I ended up pulling the hell out of that one again. And there was a bunch of water over where it was going. I was like, well, that ball's got to be wet. So I was getting ready to. I had already dropped another one, and then the playing partner, he was walking up to the green. He looks over and he goes, "There's a ball on the edge of the creek. There is that yours?" And I was like, "Oh, it might be." So I run up, and it was literally maybe a foot from the water. I was like, "Well, that's my ball." And so I got up and down from there for par, and I was like, "This is the luckiest I've ever been in my life." Two lucky breaks that close back to back. I was pretty
yeah.
happy.
In golf, sometimes it's not about being good, it's about being lucky.
Yeah,
Sometimes whoever wins a golf tournament is the luckiest.
it turned a bad round, like a bad score into an okay score, and I was like, "Wow, that's I'll take that any day."
Yeah. So back to our point about the extra 5 shots for the win. That puts me at 14 under par now.
Hmm.
It's a 39 under par.
It's not bad. That's I'm sure it'll get tighter. I'll have some bad picks.
Yeah,
Uh, this go around.
as of right now, is it's whoever I pick just doesn't show up to the tournament.
Yeah, but I guess not. Your guy actually did not did not show up yesterday.
He had
Last
a
week.
tough round one. He played it level par for round two.
Mm. Four. So he shot. He was four over, right?
Yeah, 4 over for the tournament, 4 over day one, level on day two.
Hmm.
So he wasn't. He didn't show up. Another player who didn't
So
show up that week was Wesley Bryan.
yeah.
So him, Colin, Morikawa, and Rum all played. What was it? +1 on Monday, or not Monday, on Thursday.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
he didn't show up. Really, Rom didn't show up until day two. It was day two is when Fitzy took the lead, correct?
That's when he started really buckling down.
Yeah, because I was gonna away on the weekend, so I was just kind of checking the leaderboard as I came off the ice all the time.
Mhm.
And then whatever I could watch while I was just chilling in the hotel room. So more about the PGA or the PGA, the RBC Heritage. Um, like we said before, the playoff drama was.
Nuts. I have actually in my notes, Jordan Spieth can't make putts.
Oh yeah, he had a putt to
Like
win, didn't he?
he had, so he made the important putt to get into the playoff, which is good. Obviously, you want to make those. And then first playoff hole, they played 18. He had a putt for birdie to win, and it looked like it was in the hole the whole way. And Jordan Spieth definitely also thought the same thing because he did the whole early putter race thing, which is super ballsy, and it lipped out like it was in, not. it was in until it wasn't, and the putter throw, the hat throw, like he thought that ball was in. So then they go and play 17 because they both tied with a par. Fitz misses his putt wide. Spieth's got another putt to take it, and he nuzzles it right up there. Doesn't drop. They both tie for par. And then obviously we know what happened on the last playoff hole, but it's just he can make the putts when they matter until he just physically can't.
Yeah. Like, he's one of the best putters in the world, but, like, watching the highlights and stuff of the playoff hole, he was chasing Fitzy, and
Mm-hmm.
then it just kind of felt like he was tired of chasing, and
Mm.
he was trying to win. And I know it's hard enough on us moral folk to try to push and make and try to win, that even on the very immoral folk, like the guys on the PGA Tour, it's still very hard for them to be like, let's win. So the lip out was probably
Mm.
just a little bit too much pace. He was trying to will it in there. The one that he
Mm-hmm.
nestled up close, he was like, okay, I got to take some pace off, and then just started it a little bit offline.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
putting, he's like one of the best putters in the world, but putting is such a like numbers games where it could be a millimeter offline or a millimeter too hard and it won't fall.
yeah, like a blade of grass could have been out of place, and that's why that first putt didn't go.
Yeah.
It was just that close.
Yeah. And another tournament has gone by where the winner of the tournament has been 100% from inside 8 feet.
Really,
Yeah.
that's such a crazy statistic.
Yeah. Like,
Like,
I believe one of the weeks Rom won, he was perfect inside of 8 feet. And last
mhm.
week Fitzy was.
Who was it Sam Burns? That was he didn't miss. He was like 62 for who was it? Yeah, it was another guy that won. He was also like 100% within 7 or 8 feet.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And it's nuts because if you're if he misses one of those putts, he's still 99% or whatever percentage it works out to 90 something percent inside of 8 feet, which is an insane stat. He misses one of those putts, he doesn't win the tournament. Like, isn't that like it's just nuts?
Yeah.
He misses one of those putts in regulation. Uh, he's just one stroke back from Spieth, and Spieth wins it again.
Okay, so according to this, um, the PGA Tour average for putts, um, it gives me 10 feet. So putts from 10 feet and in, PGA Tour average is 40%. So you add 2 feet to it, and the average person on tour is, so you're gonna probably look around 40, maybe 50%, 45% for inside eight
Mm-hmm.
feet, and inside 8 feet for like Fitzy this week was 100%.
It's
Granted,
just
the numbers that are saying here is from 10 feet, not inside 10 feet.
mm,
Um, so like you have like 2 footers are like 99%, 3 footers 96, 4 footers are 88, 77 for 5 footers, stuff like that. But even like on the cusp of it, he was still perfect at 8 feet.
that's an unreal statistic. It
I
really shows you like try for show, putt for dough. It's like it's not just a saying old people use to make themselves feel better about not being able to hit the ball past 200 yards. Like it really does matter.
Yeah, and but like look at Fitzy. He's not a big guy, but his like whole thing is on speed and getting faster and hitting the ball further. So
Hmm.
like he's chasing distance. So like
I'm pretty
I
confident he outdrove Jordan on the 2 18 playoff holes.
like when he was in the Full Swing documentary, people was seeing him swing his club. As like a speed trainer. I don't know exactly what it's called. I don't know which one it is, but the general public researched more for speed training stuff because of that documentary.
Mm.
So there is something to what he's doing. There's something to like that like I use the super speed stuff. There's something to the super speed stuff that's working for me. Like the speed is a definite advantage that he's gaining, and we saw it on 18.
Hmm. Oh, for sure.
And like his speed isn't like the Bryson speed where he's like turning into a robot and his body breaking down. It's like speed that
Fluid.
is around his actual golf swing, and he can
Yeah,
handle that speed.
it's fluid. It doesn't look awkward. It doesn't look like mechanical.
Yeah.
It's a fluid swing.
Like if you think about Rory swings it hard, but he's never off balance. It's very
No,
fluid.
it's
It like his body can handle that. I was
hmm
listening to a podcast talking about like that exact same topic from the guys at TPI. You'll never see Rory swing out of his shoes and fall over, but he will swing as hard as he can and stay in balance. So
that's crazy. I ate shit like I swung as hard as I could once, and well, not once. I swung as hard as I could today. I took a whole roll of sod out of the tee box, and then I almost rolled my ankle.
yeah, like there's there's a definite skill, and like one thing I notice swinging hard for me has nothing to do with what my hands are doing or what my arms are doing. It's
Jesus,
all in my
just throwing my
push.
phone around.
Oh, did it crack?
No, it's just fucking jerked it.
So, when I'm building speed or I'm going to like make sure or try to like hit one out there, I make sure that my push in my downswing, the vertical force comes because I have very good rotational force and lateral force. My problem is vertical force. Go like I tend to slide. So if I'm sliding, I'm hitting like weak kind of pulley draws. Whereas if I'm hitting it good and I'm using the vertical force, I'm hitting like powerful, like high piercing draws. So like when I'm focusing on speed, it's about like almost me jumping out of my shoes, not
Mm,
like swinging out of my shoes type thing because
mm,
I'm trying to get
hmm.
that vertical force in there.
Yeah.
But that is me, and that's with some like my own personal issue with my golf swing that I'm working on. Um, my YouTube video thumbnail on Saturday has a perfect picture of the example of what I'm trying to achieve, which is awesome. To know that I'm actually doing it in practice, like or not in practice, in like in a round and stuff like that, where I'm not practicing and having something by my foot or cameras on me all the time.
Hmm.
It's nice to see it actually happening.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's the best thing is when you can take something that you've been practicing on for so long and finally get it out onto the course and it actually happens. Like that's one of the I think one of the best feelings in golf, other than like just hitting a good shot, is when you do something that you meant to do. I intended on doing this shot. This is the shot I had in my head, and it just happened.
What you're telling me, not every single time you step up to the ball, you like intend to hit the shot a certain way.
Oh no, I intend to hit a shot a certain way every time I step up to the ball. If it happens or not is the real question.
Well, I can tell you, I would say about let me go with like 80, let's go 89% of the time this shot goes the way I want it to.
I'd say it's about. I have the inverse percentage of that. 11% of the time, the shot goes where I want it to.
The reason
The
why
other
the re-
89%, it just goes somewhere I can salvage it.
yeah, the reason why I say 89 is because if I said 90, that was a little bit of a stretch, but it's not like 85. Um, I generally, no matter what, I know what my dispersion rates are and what, like, how I swing the golf club. So it's a little bit easier for me because I have all these numbers from TrackMan and stuff like that. It's a little bit easier for me to know what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say I'm going to start the ball off of this tree and it's going to draw back towards the flag, I know I'm going to start it around this tree and it's going to draw back to the flag because I know majority of the time with my irons I am not hitting a push and I'm not hitting a fade. So it's either going to be straight at on my target line or it's going to be a little bit of a draw. So even like that's what I know what's going to happen. Obviously, there's going to be times where ball striking would be pure or poor, and I'll end up having like a fat or a thin or something like that. So that's why I went with like the 11%.
Fair enough. Yeah. Most of the time when I hit a shot, it kind of goes in the direction that I wanted it to, and then I can just get it up on the green from where it is. But 90% of the time, I step up to the ball. I have a plan, but it doesn't always happen, and I'm working on changing that. Chelsea is gone. Okay,
It's
wait, I'm
gone.
back.
Okay, we're back. We're
I'm
back.
back.
Let's go. Okay, so the Zurich. I was trying to do some research on it, and I just got some players to look at. Colin Morikawa with playing with Max Homa. We got a team of Canadians, Nick Taylor and Adam Hadwin. And then Wesley Bryan is in the field, as I said.
Oh, nice.
I know Fitzy's playing with his little brother.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Did you see his interview on like today talking about their relationship?
No, I
So
haven't seen it yet.
Fitzy said that he's the complete opposite of him because he's not organized, he's a mess, and all this stuff.
That's funny.
Like how we mentioned in the first podcast when I said that Fitzy deserved another major. About how he has kept a book with every single shot he's hit since he was like 16. So that's like just his craziness of being so organized.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think his brother does that. I don't even
No,
think I have knowledge of what my last three swings were yesterday.
I definitely know what mine were because they were like a couple hours ago. But
Yeah. I know I
but yeah,
hit
I gotta. What do you say?
I hit a block to the left with a 9 iron, I believe, on 9 white. I clipped a tree and landed short, but past the water on white. Made up and down, hit a little like cheeky little flop, and made the 6 footer for par.
I pulled my drive into the left rough. Um, hit a little like draw a power draw, I'd say, into the green, like into the left side of the green. Chipped it on about 20 feet past, and three putted for a bogey. That's what I that was my last one. That's about as far back as I can go. Usually, like right after the round, I could tell you any shot that I hit, like at any point. But to have it written down for the past 16 years, how old Matt is he?
He's like 24, 25.
But to have it written down since you were 16, like that's A, commitment, and B, a little bit of the psycho behavior. He is 28. Oh my God,
Oh,
he's 28.
he looks like a baby.
I say he looks 12. I look older than him.
So he's 28. And then you got Scotty Scheffler, who's like the youngest old man ever.
Yeah. Oh my God, Scotty Scheffler looks like the. Scotty Scheffler looks like he's retired.
Scotty
He's my sister's
Scheffler like
age.
looks mid like 40s, midlife crisis type, and he's only 26.
Yeah, he's only 26.
Yeah.
He Scotty Scheffler looks like he's been working in a factory for the past 25 years, and he's about ready to put in his retirement.
Yeah.
And he just goes out and wins golf tournaments on the weekend. Like that's
And then we got Fitzy over here, who's what you said, 28.
28. Looks like he just hit puberty.
Yeah.
That's so nuts that Matt Fitzpatrick is 2 years older than Scotty Scheffler. That's so weird.
The weird part about it is looking at him and thinking he's almost 30.
Yeah. Do you think as Scotty Scheffler gets older, he's gonna look older, or is he just like hit a point where he's just gonna look like this until he's about 55?
He's gonna look like that until he's about 55 and playing on the senior tour, and then he's
Yeah.
gonna start putting on a little bit more weight, and then he's gonna
Then one
look.
day he's gonna come out with gray hair and be like, oh my God, what?
He's gonna put on a little bit of weight, and then he's gonna look like a Jack Nicklaus does right now, a little like hunchback fat guy at the end of
My
his
my
life.
grandma always calls him Jay Leno. She can never remember his name, but she says he looks like Jay Leno.
He kind of does.
But yeah, I honestly think if Scotty Scheffler had came out this weekend, like next weekend he plays, and had gray hair, I wouldn't even bat an eye. I'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I'd be like, oh, that checks out. He's 45, right? Um, I had in my notes here. I want to talk about two things that kind of mixed together. One was Cantley's shot from was it the 16th that he was in was it the 14th where he was like wedged in the wood that was off the side of the par three.
I did not see that.
So I'm just trying to find out. Now. He was wedged, so he missed the green left, and chipped on, but his chip rolled through the green and was going to roll into the water. But like
Oh,
it rolled.
I saw
Yeah,
where it finished. I didn't see where he shot from afterwards.
what? I just looked up Cantley shot from the wood, and it just came up with uh, Patrick Cantley place of birth Long Beach. I didn't. Yeah, that's not even close to what I was asking.
Yeah, it would. I'm gonna put the video
Yes,
in, like I'm gonna put it in this part, so it's gonna cut here and it's gonna show the video. But yeah, so it like rolled.
it was the 13th, 14th, 197-yard par three. Pulled his tee shot, misjudged his chip shot, and his ball careened towards the water, as this article says, and it just ended up on one of the wooden posts that kind of like hold everything together. And at the same time, John Rahm was in the booth, like on the mic, talking and like commentating on what was going on, and he did a phenomenal job covering that like intense moment. He's given like an athlete's perspective, what he would do, what he wouldn't do, how he thought about it, and he was just so natural on the mic. I was like, this guy is definitely has a job lined up for when he wants to retire. And then Cantley then went on and pulled off the shot beautifully. It was a nuts moment of golf for a diehard like a nuts golf fan. It was crazy.
I'm trying to see the shot.
Mm-hmm.
The shot from there.
Share it to you.
I have it. I just had to skip part of the video. Oh my
I
god,
sent
that's
you on
a
Instagram.
that from there. That's amazing.
I know and this whole time it was being narrated by John Rahm, and it was like, this is beautiful. His ball, I'm watching it again right now. His ball was in an inch from um, going just being done. But yeah, so the whole family, like me, my grandma, my sister, my mom, my dad, we were all sitting on the TV watching, and everybody else was like, "No, no, there's no way he plays that. That's a dumb play if he plays that." Blah blah blah, all this stuff. And I kept saying, "No, you have to play that. Like you, it's it's a no brainer to play that shot. You most of the ball is above the like it's sitting up. You can get your wedge underneath the equator of the ball, so it's gonna pop up. And if you just hit it with a little bit enough, like exactly like he did, it's gonna pop up and forwards. He played it perfect, and I think taking a drop would have been 100% the wrong move.
Especially because he did make up and down there.
Yeah,
Like he made up and down for bogey, but like he still made it there. That
and if he
reminds
didn't make
me.
up and down for bogey, he still would have had a very similar result if he took a drop.
If he took the drop, he would have been putting for double.
Yeah, so if he doesn't make up and down for bogey, he's still um yeah, I don't know. He That was definitely the right play, and it was also just fantastic to watch with John Rahm on the mic and him doing a great job and kind of talking it through everybody. Yeah, that was fun. That was a good. That was definitely one of the moments I'll remember for the next little bit.
Here, I'm going to send you something.
Oh,
Um, this is what the Patrick Cantlay shot reminds me of.
okay.
Um, so I was at my buddy's house and we were watching the the PGA of America, uh, like just like the teaching professionals and like the head professional like
Hmm.
tournament. And there's a guy. The ball came to rest on the rocks, and he hit a flop shot off the rocks onto the green.
Oh my god,
I I think I sent it to you just right now. Um,
hasn't come through yet.
here, I'll,
What a shot. That is spectacular.
did you get it now?
No. What did you send it on?
Instagram.
Yeah, I haven't gotten it.
So I will also put this shot in there. It's like it just reminded me of that play because they were both sitting over it for a while. I also I have a video of my buddy's
What the
mom
fuck?
yelling at the guy just to hit the shot, as well. It's kind of hilarious.
That's nuts. That is an unreal shot.
Yeah, and that's just your normal club pro. So like um
He's not. Wow.
he's not practicing that much.
No, I don't think anybody's practicing that. Who's practicing a flop shot off the stones?
You never know when you're gonna need it.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's very impressive.
I
Um,
I practice my
back.
right hand upside down wedge chips because I needed it at Cherry Hill last year, and my now I know how to do it. So if I need it, I got it.
Oh, better be looking for at it and for it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, back to the Zurich. We got a little sidetracked. Cantley and Shoffley won last year. They won by two, posting a 59, 68, 60, and 72. Which are pretty good scores. I think they were like 29 under, if I remember correctly.
Absolute
Um,
birdie fest.
Nuts stuff from them. The purse is kind of like shitty. It's only this year the winners they get 1.242 million compared to last weekend's 3 million. But last weekend was a designated event.
Oh,
But yeah,
How do
They
you
were
how do you feel about the plaid jacket being worth more than the green jacket?
really.
Yeah, because the purse like Fitzpatrick won more money than Rahm did.
I feel like you get a lot more outside of like the green jacket. You might get paid physically paid less, but you also get a lot more. Like you're gonna get more brand deals first of all, so that's more money anyways. You're gonna get more sponsorships. You're gonna get you get to play the Masters for the rest of your life, and you get like you get a lot more stuff than just getting to wear a plaid jacket and hit a tee shot next to a cannon. So
Yeah, but
I
now
don't
that
know.
it's a designated event, doesn't it give like exemptions into like the FedEx Cup playoffs
Yes,
and the players next year and stuff like that?
I think so. I'm just gonna see if I can find more information on that.
Because like for example, if like I don't like I understand the designated events, it's like a higher price pool and stuff like that. But what's different between that? Like what's the benefit of winning a designated event over a non-designated event? Probably more world ranking points because the fields are stronger.
Yeah, you do get more world ranking points. You get more world ranking points. You get. I'm trying to find all like the extras. You get 500 FedEx Cup points, 70 OWGR points, along with 2 year PGA Tour exemption,
So you get
and then entry into next year's Century Tournament of Champions.
okay, so you get basically your tour card for sure for the next 2 years. So if
Hmm.
you decide to not show up next year, you're okay. Um,
Hmm.
but okay, so it's not as much as I thought it was.
No.
Um, while we're talking about designated events, Rory McIlroy was fined $3 million from his PIP because he missed the designated event. My question to
Hmm.
you for this is that a fair punishment? Is that a weak punishment, or should it have been something different?
I think it's a fair punishment for like two reasons. Mainly, it's because that was what was set out. Like that was what was said. The rule was at the beginning of the year when these designated events were introduced. And two, I mean, $3 million is nothing to Rory McIlroy, but uh, it's kind of like I don't know if I don't know the right way to word this. It kind of hurts Rory McIlroy's like image. I don't know if image is the right word, but he was the face. He was pushing for all these designated events. He was pushing for more. He was on guys about complaining about having to play all these events, and then he's the first one to have to withdraw more than the allotted amount. So it's not the greatest look for him. So I agree. I'm happy with the way he was punished, and I think that I'm not happy that he was, but I'm happy that it wasn't. He didn't get exempt because of who he is or anything. Like the rules are still the rules, and it'll be more of an incentive for other guys the remainder of the year to be like, oh, I don't want to lose out on this money. I'm going to play more events because if I feel like if the punishment was a bit less, or if they didn't punish him as much, guys would have just been like, oh, screw it. Like I'm not. If I don't have to play these events, the punishment isn't that bad. I'm not going to play them.
Yeah, I'm still unsure how I feel about the punishment because two things. One, it's only from his PIP money, and it's about 25% of his PIP money, which was $12 million. Um, but I still haven't seen anything about why he did it. If it was
Hmm.
injury related, if it was just that he wasn't playing well, stuff like that. Because if he's injured, why are we punishing him $3 million when he probably should
I feel
be?
like if he was injured, I feel like he wouldn't be being punished, and that's probably also why we haven't heard anything. I think it's probably just he's hasn't been playing well, and he's gonna take a break for a couple weeks and get himself right.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Like he could. I don't know. You don't really know. Like he it could be something, a family issue, something like that too. That
Mhm.
like
There's a lot of things it could be, but I feel like if it was an injury, we would A, know about it, and B, they wouldn't. What are they? They're not going to punish him for being injured.
no, but like say I don't know, family member passes away or family members in the hospital, like stuff like that happens. They're a human being, so like if something like that happened, he may not want to talk to people about.
Yeah, I also feel like they wouldn't punish him for that because that would be just an all-time dick move.
Yeah, and I have a feeling they did talk to Rory before issuing this like the fine to
Hmm.
get out the right reason. So because of that, I think the $3 million is fair because they probably did talk to him, and he was probably like, "Dude, I need a break. I need to be away from golf," and that's what happened. Um,
Mm.
but it's just, I just find it crazy how it they decided to take from the PIP money when I guess the designated events are for like have the PIP money involved, but I would say maybe it comes down to tour points would be a more like sizable
Yeah.
and more punishable factor because when we talk about the FedEx Cup playoffs and the Tour Championship, everyone starts kind of at a staggered. It's a staggered start. So you take away, I don't know, 100, 200 FedEx Cup points. Now Rory goes from being X to Z, and now he needs to fight to make sure he's even in the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Yeah, I also I like that.
And
I like
that
that. I that
and that would put more of an emphasis on being at these tournaments and winning those 500 points because
mhm.
if you can take two weeks off and recover and from being burnt out on being on the road and you can come back and win 500 points and all you paid was $3 million, well you just made it back by winning.
Yeah,
Whereas if you lose out on points, then you have to win more or play better for the rest of the season to make sure you're still in the hunt for the FedEx Cup.
yeah, I like that. I like that. That's actually a really good. That's a really good idea. Yeah.
So last thing on the Golf Now side is the Chevron Championship. So it's the first women's major of the year at a total of 5.
Hmm.
It was previously known as the ANA Inspirational Challenge. Um, it's at a new golf course this year. They moved from, I believe, Southern California now into Texas.
They're at
Um,
Carlton Woods in Houston.
yes. So I don't think there's going to be a Poppy Pond jump this year because of it.
No, I remember. I actually watched. You just saying that. I remember watching the last Poppy Pond jump last year at this tournament.
Yeah,
I vividly remember that, and then they kept talking about how it was the last one.
yeah. So maybe they'll figure something else out to do like a new thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Have you seen? I know you're a Titleist guy, but have you seen TaylorMade staff bags for this major?
Oh, yeah, those are sick.
Oh my God!
Did you
It's the
see the spider
coolest
head
bag.
covers with the spaceship and stuff?
Yes. Oh, and the driver head cover.
Oh, they're
The
so the tailor made stuff for this tournament is so much but more better than Callaway's.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yes.
Callaway's is like
And the
all
Taylor,
flowery and girly. TaylorMade's like, we're not going girly, we're going for the like
no.
Houston vibe.
Yeah, Houston, we have a liftoff, and they fucking took off of these bags. I gotta find. I want to know how much that bag is to buy because
Oh, it's got to be like 500-600 bucks.
easy, 500, $600. But it's the coolest bag I've ever seen.
And I'm gonna call out Callaway here, for a second and tell them that their tournament bags for the LPGA majors should not be just girly or look girly. They should be like kind of like the men's, treat them like the men, where a lot of the places, a lot of the like companies will design bags for tournaments based on the location where they're at. So TaylorMade with the Houston, NASA, and all that stuff.
So sick! It is the coolest bag I've ever seen.
Gear.
I'm trying to find it. It wasn't on their website. I don't know if they made it available yet.
It's probably not available yet because of usually there's like this subscription app you can go for through
Hmm.
the TaylorMade Vault, and you get first access to it. So like the what is the grapefruits that they had for before, like at the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Yeah,
Like
the
that's
grapefruit
finally
sour.
on here now. And then there's like a coffee in clubs for TaylorMade stuff.
That coffee and clubs that I might like legitimately buy that head cover because it's very cool.
My favorite is like their Canada stuff. Like they're very Canadian patriotic with TaylorMade. Like the TaylorMade
Yeah.
Spider with the Canada one is sick. Like if I was
Hmm.
a TaylorMade guy, that would be the one I was rocking.
I would, but I don't have a TaylorMade putter.
Yeah,
I got
I'm a Scotty Cameron fanboy
I
to the
rock
day of
the
that.
Odyssey, but I'm gonna get a new putter because it's just not. It's just not working. That thing is just not working for me right now.
So I recommend go get fit. Find out
Mm.
what type of stroke you have. If it's more of a arc or straight back, straight through. Find the right length and then go from there. So find out
I
what
was
type.
in Golf Town. I know this doesn't like has nothing to do with actually being fit, but I was in Golf Town and I was just trying out all different kinds, and I was really liking the center shafted putters.
Were you trying one of the Seymour putters?
I think it was a Seymour
It's
putter.
got like two white dots and a red dot,
Yeah.
and it's a center shafted putter. So when you address the ball, you don't want it, and through your stroke, you don't want to see the red on the putter.
Yeah, no, it
Mm,
was like I don't know, I just felt very comfortable over the ball. So this is another side point. The Masters staff bag is $800.
Yeah, so it'd probably be about that for the.
But
Um,
yeah, I don't know. It was just the center shafted putters. It felt really good. I like the straight back and forth, and I don't know. I just my putter. I have a really hard time controlling it. If that makes sense. Like my takeaway is like it's all squiggly and shit, and then when I get to the center shafted putter, it's just everything felt smooth.
by the way, on most of those Seymour putters in Golf Town, if the top of the grip says G Pro, that's a Garson grip.
Mm,
So
nice.
I believe they are Garson Ultimates. And then on the top, it has if it says G Pro on the Seymour putters, those are the like Garson putter grips in like that Seymour has. So they have custom grips for Callaway. I believe TaylorMade now, or working on it with TaylorMade. Pirelli, Seymour, and TXG now has their own Garson grip as well. So it could be the grip
Have you
that
seen
makes you a better putter too.
have you seen these the new set? This is like what kind of got me on the topic of center shafted putters, and they got me interested in it. Have you seen these new center shafted putters? I can't remember the name of them, but they look absurd. And like, a lot of YouTube guys have them. They're massive.
Is it the lab ones?
Yes, lab putters.
Yeah, those are like $1,000.
Yeah, they're crazy, and they look like I know golf isn't about looks. If it works, it works. But they look stupid, in my opinion.
They have a blade that's a center shafted like that. Then they have a smaller one, and then they have the original.
Yeah, the original. I mean, if they want to send me one, and I can try it for me to try it out, and I can maybe change my change my tune. I'll gladly try it out. But in my opinion, like the putter cover, looking in that bag, just looks huge. It just
Yeah,
looks like you just get in the way of everything.
I have tried one. Personally, I didn't like it. Because the shaft is not really center shaft. It's like center of the club head shaft,
Hmm.
and then the face is out further, and then the grip goes in like the grip is here, okay, and the shaft comes in this side of the grip, so it has forward press on it
Yeah,
already.
in the yeah, it. I don't know. It just all looked very strange, and a lot of like Eric Anders Lang from Random Golf Club. He's a guy like one of the big YouTube golf media people that I love to watch, and he started using it, and he's been making a lot of putts with it. Don't get me wrong, but it just looks like it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, Bust Jack. They also both have one too.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think isn't it Jack? He only uses it like half the time because I still see him with a blade every once in a while in the videos.
so Jack has the blade version from Lab,
Oh, that makes sense.
and then Busta has the giant one.
See, but that fits him because he's a fucking huge person.
So what?
He's just
What are
like
you
not saying
saying? The
he's.
bigger the
I'm
guy,
not
the
saying
bigger
he's
the
fat.
mallet.
I'm not saying he's fat. I'm just saying he's a huge. Like it's a big guy.
But no, what like bigger the man, the bigger the mallet.
Hell yeah.
Maybe
Oh, it's
that's
just
why I only have a Scotty Cameron Futura X5. Um, so we were just talking about like equipment because of the Chevron Championship. I just want to mention past champions: Lydia Ko in 2016, Lexi Thompson 2014, Annika Swarnston 05, 02, 01, the greatest women's golfer of all time. If you
yeah.
look at pure tournament wins and major wins, she's a better golfer than Tiger Woods.
I say you can even remove the greatest women's golfer of all time. She might just be one of the greatest golfers of all
Well,
time.
she is the greatest female golfer of all time, and she's one of the greatest golfers of all time.
Yeah, unreal.
If we look at pure numbers and tournaments and wins and professional wins and
Hmm.
major wins, Annika blows everyone out of the water.
Hmm.
But the fields back when Annika played versus now are
Very different.
a lot tougher now than it was before.
Hmm.
Whereas when Tiger played, yes, it's tougher now, but it was tougher than when compared to Annika.
Also,
So
two different, like a very different game back then.
yes, and it was also a very different game for the women back then too. Like the
Hmm.
women were they were more point and shoot and still not trying to kill the ball. Tiger was the first wave of trying to kill the ball type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we reached everything through the golf now. So we're doing Zurich picks, or do we want to do like one Zurich team and then two from the LPGA Major? Because,
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
because like there's not that there's like even though there's teams, there's like not too many teams that like I would personally pick, and you've already mentioned one of the ones that I was gonna pick anyways.
Oh, okay.
So like we will be running out of teams to pick.
We
So
will be. I had a system for the Zurich teams that we could pick. Like, so right now, I've got their odds pulled up on the PGA website, and I was thinking we pick two teams under 1,000 odds. Not We each pick a team under 1,000, under plus 1,000. Two teams under plus 2,000, and then two teams over plus 2,000. Oh, no, two teams. Sorry, scratch that. We each pick a team under 1,000. We each pick a team under 2,000, and we each pick a team under 4,000, and then we can go that way. But if you want to do that, I'm also down for the LPGA one because that'd be a cool format.
yeah, why don't we pick one team from the Zurich and then the two players from the LPGA,
Okay,
and
you can cut out that mess of me trying to explain the whole odds thing because it made no sense as I was saying it.
I got what you're trying to get. That is also that would be a cool thing to do, but again, like with the strength of field, like
Yeah, it wouldn't be
there
that interesting.
would be like it would be interesting because we'd be following different people, but it'd also be very frustrating to try to follow some of the groups when, like, especially me, because I'm gonna probably watch more of the Chevron than the Zurich, just because again I
I'm
like
just gonna watch it to see those TaylorMade bags.
oh I'm gonna watch it because my girl Nelly Corda
Oh,
and
what?
Brooke
I have to say who you
Henderson
picking. All right, all right, all right.
and Lydia Ko.
She,
Uh,
yeah, she's up for a Hall of Fame berth. Actually, I have that written down. I was doing a little bit of research. Depending on how well she does, she could get inducted into the LPGA Hall of Fame.
Lydia Ko, is she still number one in the world?
I believe so. She is. Three wins this week.
Lydia
But
Ko is
she needs
still
a
number one.
win to lock up the last points to get into the LPGA Hall of Fame.
Lydia
She
Ko
is
number
number one.
one. Jessica Corda or Nelly Corda two. Lexi Thompson 6, Brooke Henderson 7. So Brooke Henderson slid from. Brooke Henderson was at 3 at the beginning of the year. So she slid.
Hmm.
Okay. So, since you got the hole in one and you're winning, you have honors. So do you want to pick your Zurich team or are you going to pick an LPGA player?
I'm gonna pick my Zurich team
Okay.
first, just because I have the most informed opinion on the Zurich team. I'm gonna pick the obvious Max Homa and Colin Morikawa.
Max Homa and Colin Morikawa.
Yeah,
Dang.
I knew you were gonna go for them.
Yeah.
We were both gonna go for them, even though Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantley are by far the front runner. They're just not as exciting to watch. So
Yeah. That's my pick.
name two more just vanilla ice cream guys to play together. Like I couldn't.
But yeah, Xander and Cantley was my second option if I didn't get.
Okay. Um, how nuts would it have been if I picked John Daly and David Duval?
I mean, I wasn't gonna pick him even if we are gonna have 3 teams, but he
I
was an
was gonna
option.
pick him just for the sake of picking him
He was an option.
because I am like 15 strokes ahead, so I can afford to pick John Daly and David Duval. But knowing how this is gone, I would pick them and then they would make the cut.
Yeah,
All right, on to the
Chevron.
LPGA. All right, so I'm gonna go with. I actually need to see the field. I don't know. I need to make sure who I'm picking is actually playing because I recognize some of these names. This is my own fault. I do not watch enough of the LPGA as much as I love watching the LPGA because they it's the closest thing an average golfer like myself can get to watching, like, because they play from close distances to what I play from. It's just like I can compare myself to them a bit more accurately than I can compare to the men, and then it just blows me away every time. I'm like, I could never ever in my life hit any
Yeah.
of these shots.
They are very, very, like, I'm gonna say neat.
Hmm.
Like, not neat like cool, neat as in like organized. Like, they have a plan, they stick to the plan, they know how to putt. They all can. They're, I would say, the best female putters in the world are better than the men's best putters in the world because
Yeah,
they're
for
draining
sure.
stuff from Timbuktu sometimes, but they're also hitting 7 irons into like greens that normally have wedges coming into by the men.
Yeah,
So it's more, they have their strategy, they stick to their strategy, it doesn't matter what's going on. It's very, very good golf for people who need to watch. Like, I won't say similar because they're really good and they would they could probably play from the tips and still beat me, but
hmm,
like they, it's similar in the sense of they're hitting longer irons into greens like majority of amateurs. They're playing a little bit of a similar distance. They hit the ball as similar distances to most amateurs, stuff like that.
yeah,
So if it, that's just another reason why I like watching the LPGA too. Is it's different between the PGA.
yeah.
One of my favorite events last year was when the ladies European Tour and the European Tour had they had a mixed field. So the
Hmm.
women's played from certain tees and the men's played from certain tees, and then a lady went out and won it by like 7 strokes.
Yeah.
And the PGA Tour is doing this at the end of the season next year or this year.
I think it was next year. I don't think it was. I heard about it this year, but it very well could be this year.
I know they announced it at the beginning of this year, but I didn't know if it was for this year or next year. But again, that would be really cool to see like Nelly Corder playing next to like Cantley and Fitzpatrick, and then
Yeah,
having Brooke Henderson in the same group of Rom. Like, those are going to be
that's
cool
gonna be
groups to watch.
electric to watch. It is gonna be November of 2023. I
So
think.
this year,
I think that's what I'm reading in this article. I could be wrong, but yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be this year.
sweet. Okay,
December 4th through 10th, 2023 at Tibber something golf club,
okay.
in the Ritz Carlton, Naples. Sweet. All right. So my second, no, my LPGA pick is going to be Nelly Corda. So I watched a video on YouTube about her, and she is an athlete.
You stole my wife.
Your wife,
Yeah, Nelly Corda's my wife.
Nelly Corda is your wife. I mean, you can have your wife if you want, but does she know about this?
She doesn't know I exist.
So if she knows about this, then I feel like does she have a husband?
I think her and Anthony Siu broke up.
Yes.
I think her and
So
Anthony.
she's wide open. Make your move.
I know. I I was scrolling on her Instagram the other day because I was like showing one of my buddies at the hockey tournament like girl golfers and seeing if he found them attractive or not. And I noticed that he wasn't tagged in their Halloween photo, and there was no other photos with him on there. And I was like, oh, they broke up.
It's not a little stalkerish at all.
Well, I wasn't stalking her. I was just trying to get my buddy to decide whether or not what golf girls were
Okay.
attractive or not.
But yeah, Nelly Corda, she's my pick. She's a name that I recognize and a name that I feel very confident picking because I've seen her name on the leaderboard a lot whenever I do watch the LPGA.
I'm gonna go with Canadian Brooke Henderson,
Nice.
my other wife.
She's sixth in the LPGA ranking.
Seventh in the world rankings, the
Okay.
Rolex rankings.
What am I looking at right now? What is this? I don't know. I don't. I'm looking at some kind of rankings that appear to be different from yours, but
Look up
yeah.
RolexRankings.com/rankings. It's the Rolex World Rankings.
There we go. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Seventh.
Okay, one more pick.
I'm gonna have to go with. I think. Yes, Lexi Thompson.
Lexi Thompson.
I read an article in my research when I was reading up on the Chevron Championship, just trying to get more knowledge about it. That she'd recently taken time off, and she's coming back this year. She's rested. It's another name that I recognize. Another name I feel confident in. She's gonna be my girl.
Do I go for the Garson duo and go Lydia Ko? Or do I
It's not a bad. It's not an awful pick.
go Jessica Korda?
I would go if I was
But
a betting man,
Jessica
which I
is the
am.
worst out of the two sisters. I'm gonna go Lydia.
Well, that's gonna make your Thanksgiving dinners real awkward now that you're dissing the sisters.
Well, one's an Olympic gold medalist. One is not an Olympic gold medalist.
Well,
And one was not the
you're
number
right.
one women's player in the world, and one was.
Very correct. All right,
The
Lydia
stats
Ko.
don't lie. So I got Xander and Cantley.
I got Max Homa and Colin Morikawa.
I got Brooke Henderson, and then Lydia Ko. And you
And then I
got
had
Nelly Korda and
Korda
Lexi Thompson.
And Lexi Thompson. Nice.
Okay,
Good picks.
good picks.
Looking forward to it.
About an hour and 13 minutes in. So are we doing the what's it called?
We can do a handful of unpopular opinions.
A handful of unpopular opinions. Okay, I'm gonna start with
I like
this
those.
one because this one kind of pissed me off when I read it. So this is an unpopular opinion. It is Scotty Camerons are nice, but more or less a cult that copied other putters that were more or less created by Ping and Bettinardi.
I have absolutely no opinion on this because I don't think I've ever even touched a Scotty Cameron in my life.
So
I can't say I can't speak on the quality of the putter.
So, I have two Scotty Camerons. Best putter in the world. Like, I will die for my Scotty Camerons. Like, I want to have a Scotty Cameron collection, blah, 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 blah. I fit into this, it's a cult type thing, because once you have one, you want another one, you want another one, you want to collect them. They're worth more money over time. You got the Circle T's that you can buy at the Scotty Cameron store, stuff like that, where like there's a very big market for Scotty Camerons. So yes,
All I gotta say is if Tiger Woods has used that Scotty Cameron as long as he's used that Scotty Cameron, it must be good.
Yeah. It's where he so like I agree it's kind of like a cult because like most like fandoms are kind of cult like you look at the Star Wars fandoms and stuff like that. it is you have like the guys who do the cosplay and dress up in all the costumes and stuff like that. That's very cult like. Then you have like I would say golf cult like with the Scotty Cameron fanboys, and then being a Toronto Maple Leafs fan is a cult. And
Yeah, a shitty cult to be in, but right, especially right now.
7-3, correct?
Yeah, I was
Can't.
leaving the gym yesterday, and I like just kind of looked over, and I saw the TV, and it was like 3-0. I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize the game had started. I wasn't even that surprised that it was 3-0, but I was like, I didn't even realize the game had started that early. Like, it must be about to finish up. And then I noticed it still said first period.
I
And
have Tampa in 7.
I just shook my head and walked out of the gym. I was like, I can't do this right now.
I don't know how Leafs fans do it. But anyways, but the part that I don't like about this is the fact that the putters were copied by Ping or Bettinardi. So if you look at putters when they release, you got the Spider, the original Spider Tour that had like the legs that kind of came out and stuff like that. Those are kind of being copied now by Callaway and all the other brands, kind of. You got Cobra's got one very similar, stuff like that. So it's you can only make a putter a certain way once, and there's so many different putters, and there's only so many different ways you can make a putter that obviously brands are going to have similar things like the Newport and then the Answer, and then I would say like the Phantom and any of the Mallets type. But to say that they're just copied is like a joke, because I guarantee you the Ping Answer wasn't the first blade putter that looked like it, and the Half Moon wasn't the first Half Moon. There was other stuff like that. So saying that it's copying it is a part of the opinion that I don't like.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
What unpopular opinion do you got there?
I have. Let's see. I got a bunch.
Give me your best one.
I think the best one that I have is this person said, I don't, this isn't necessarily my opinion. This is just an opinion that was put up on Reddit, was what this person doesn't mind swing advice on the course.
Oh, God, no.
I was gonna say, how do you feel about swing advice on the course?
Okay, so if it's something like target, so like if I'm talking with, say, if I have a caddy or whatnot, and I'm talking over something and I'm like saying this is the target, and then be like, let's choose this target. Okay, that's okay. But I don't want to know what I'm doing in my backswing. It's the whole thing is in a golf tournament or in a golf round, you showed up to the dance. You got to dance with what you brought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So whatever your swing is that day, whether you're hitting fades, whether you're hitting draws, whether you're whatever, you need to show up and you need to play that. You can't be messing around with something mid-round. Like, the times where I play my worst golf is like right after a lesson. So like if I don't get to practice a few days from having that lesson, so if I had a lesson at like 2 o'clock and then I went and played at 4, I'm gonna play like terrible, because I'm still thinking about the stuff in my lessons. I haven't really made it like kind of muscle memory yet. It's terrible in my opinion to get like lesson type swing help. But that being said, like if I was playing with someone and they were asking questions, I wouldn't hesitate to talk to them about it and give them some ideas.
Yeah,
So,
I think it hit, like, for me, because I was starting out, like, when I was a newer golfer. There was a point in my game where when I was out on the course, I would love if anybody offered me a tip on how to fix something or do this differently or whatever. And then I hit a point like midway last season where I was like, I don't need like I got it. Like, I'm just gonna work with the swing that I have right now, and it started to be less beneficial, and then it turned into more of like a everything was in my head. I was thinking too much about my swing, and I think it just when you're new and starting out, I think tips are should be appreciated if as long as they're said in like, a nice way. You don't be a dick about if someone has a shitty swing, but once someone's got comfortable with their game, they don't you don't need to be telling them what they're doing in their backswing or how their hips are turning on their downswing. Like, you just out there to play golf.
Yeah, and like there'll be a little bit different, I would say, when talking about like swing and giving pointers and stuff. Like if we went out and we were just shooting the shit and playing some golf or whatnot, and there's a type of lie that you had, and I might like be like, have you hit a shot and be like, hey, maybe next time, or hit another one and do this differently. But
Yeah,
that's because
and also
we're not going out, we're not playing like seriously. I'm practicing, you'd be practicing, stuff like that.
yeah,
But as soon as the say the camera comes on or the
and it's time to game.
yeah, or it or you put a loony on the line, like it's time to go. Like I'm not helping you. I'm being competitive type thing. So
Yeah, yeah, and also most of the time, if I want the advice, like if like today I had a lot, it was ball was above my feet, and I was just like I stepped over it, and the guy I was golfing with, he's a better golfer than me. And I just was like, hey, how would you hit this shot? Like, if I want the advice, I'm gonna ask for it, and I'm not ashamed to know to say that I don't know something about golf. But um if I'm just there's a guy constantly, usually it's the randoms too, just constantly telling me what I'm doing wrong and how to hit certain shots. Like that's just the worst. It ruins the round so quick.
yeah, and like there's been times where I've been the random and been like helping somebody, and it would be mainly because they have talked to me about my own swing because they're trying to figure out what I'm doing, and then I say, "Hey, let me look at your swing so I can tell you what to do because you copying my swing is not going to work for you because my swing is my swing and you have your own swing," type thing. Like personally, you look at Tiger Woods' swing. Tiger Woods' swing is amazing for Tiger. If someone else tried to swing like Tiger, they wouldn't be able to do it. If we
No.
look at the best swing, like it right out of the book, you look at Nelly Korda. Her swing is the best out of the book. But not everyone can swing like that. Matt Wolf, another example. Bryson, another example. Rom with his like club foot. Like everyone has a different swing. So when people are sitting there watching me trying to mimic me, I don't want them to try to mimic me. I want them to improve them.
Yeah.
So like if someone is watching me and ask me questions about my own swing to try to implement into their swing, I would rather them not take something from my swing and try to put it in their swing type thing.
hmm
I would rather look at it and be like, hey, this is something. Uh, so yeah, but
Well, I, uh, I feel like we've got more than enough for today.
I think so. We're at an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So let's wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah, time for bed.
So we got the Zurich and we got the Chevron Championship. We have our picks set. Hopefully, I can catch you up from that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
How far are you back?
I was
15?
30 shots
16?
back until you gave me 5, so I'm at like
Yeah.
25 shots back.
Okay.
So 25 shots back. Hopefully, I can gain some ground on you this week. But we won't know until the golf is done on Sunday.
Don't know. We won't know until it's. Can't say without knowing for sure.
Exactly. This weekend I won't be watching much golf. On Saturday I'm going to Titleist and I'm going to the
Oh, nice.
headquarters. I'm going to go get fitted. Um,
Sick.
there's going to be a video coming out on my main channel as well on Saturday. It's a match play. And it's going to be a good weekend. So I hope you guys liked the podcast today. Make sure you check out our Instagram and TikTok. I finally post something on there today.
Yes.
Fitzy, you dog.
Fitzy, you dog.
Um, I'm gonna try to find some stuff to post every once in a while there. If you want to stay up to date on some cool things happening in the PGA Tour through the rounds and stuff, I've been posting a lot of stuff on the stories. And then, obviously, if you want to check my personal channel out, you can. You don't have to. I would appreciate it. But, whatever. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on this channel. And come back here next Thursday to hear what we have to say about next week and see
See how far
who,
back Dylan is again.
how far back am I?
Yeah.
How many shots do I need to give you on 18 holes?
I was just say if this would be nice to this would be the amount of shots that you give me when we play together until the circumstances change and you're ahead, then I'm just gonna lose by a million every time we play.
So, you never know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see
We'll
how it
see.
ends up.
Well, enjoy the golf this weekend.
You as well. Maybe see you Sunday.
Yes, maybe we might see each other on Sunday. If we see each other Sunday, might put a little vlog together just for the channel.
Maybe I'd be down.
Little special podcast vlog channel vlog.
Little nugget.